Maybe we'll start with some quick introductions and then get the chat going. Maybe I'll start. Pugal Janakiraman, industry principal for manufacturing at Snowflake. Been in Snowflake last 4 years. Before that, AWS 4 years, 22 years in Siemens. Used to run the digital twin practice, by the way, before I left Siemens. Yeah, Christian.
Yeah, thanks. I'm Christian Wurfel, working for Siemens and doing a product manager for XDT and Live Twin, which we'll come to later in a second.
Awesome. Maybe then why don't we get started? So, what exactly is digital twin? Can you talk about that, Christian?
Yeah, a digital twin, you can imagine you have a physical representation that has the exact physical behavior of your asset. So it can be a motor, can be some piece of metal. So anything can be modeled, and this we can do with simulation tools like SimCenter, specific tools for specific medias.
Right. So, and why do you need digital twins? What exactly does it do that we cannot do with monitoring a machine and things like that?
So with a digital twin, you can do experimentation in a safe environment. You can try out things. You can develop new products easier, faster, and this brings your product life cycle to a quicker cycle.
Right. So we talked about digital twin. I think you mentioned earlier XDT or Executable Digital Twin. Can you talk about what is Executable Digital Twin? And that's not a common industry construct. That's something which Siemens came up with. So why do you need it?
Yeah, so an executable digital twin is now when you run it in real time connected to the shop floor. This means you have this virtual asset, so the digital twin, and connect it with a data stream from the shop floor and stimulate it and get new values out of it. So you can get information based on this digital twin in real time and optimize your process or do condition monitoring by comparing the real and digital world.
Right. And Siemens also has an interesting concept called as a comprehensive digital twin. How do you guys distinguish between comprehensive and an executable digital twin?
So the comprehensive digital twin is the holistic thing. You have a digital twin of the complete machine, for example, or the complete part of it. And with an executable digital twin, you look more in detail. You have one specific process, one process step, and you need these exact information to optimize the process. So coming from a plant level, going down to more machine level lines into the process, and then there we can leverage the executable digital twin to really make it as a part of your operation machine.
Right.
So yeah, Pugal, you have been at Siemens, now working for Snowflake. Maybe you can explain us a little bit how we collaborate now together.
Sure. I think we came together maybe around 12 months back, something like that. The thought process is Snowflake is pretty good in managing data, large volumes of data. For example, Toyota complete connected car data is managed within Snowflake. Scania trucks, we manage the data within Snowflake. But that data, we do a lot of AI-based prediction. AI-based prediction has got a lot of advantages where if you have large volume of data, you can understand anomalies, you can understand patterns, you can predict behavior of it. But if you don't have access to the data, predicting a behavior of a system is an age-old system modeling concept, which Siemens with the physics modeling and multi-physics modeling have done it for multiple decades. So the vision has always been, can we bring the deterministic physics-based modeling and a heuristic AI-based approach to do a better system modeling? So that's pretty much what prompted us to come together. So that's how the digital twin happened between Snowflake and Siemens. So now we have a model which is constructed. Even if you don't have any base data, you can predict the behavior because physics can pretty much say what the system is going to do based on the physics and multi-physics formulas. At the same time, we also bring in the connected data which is coming in, plant floor data which is coming in. Leveraging AI, you can do the prediction of it at a much faster rate, which physics cannot do. That's pretty much the whole vision with which we brought AI and physics together to build this digital twin offering jointly. So
Okay, so this means the physical-based models can be even more accurate, more fitting to the process when we enrich it together with the AI data.
Yeah, correct. I think the best example, if I take a connected car today, so given a charge in an electric car, physics formulas have been there for more than 100 years to tell you that for that charge, how long the charge battery will last before the power runs out, how many kilometers you can drive. But what physics cannot do is based on the traffic condition, based on the weather condition, based on your personal driving patterns and the road condition, are you going to drive 100 kilometers or 150 kilometers? That you need AI for it. So that's what we have done now, brought both these things together to do much better system modeling and prediction, which was never possible if I use AI only or physics only. That's pretty much what we have done together. So.
Yeah, this sounds very great, and I think it's a good example really to combine these two aspects.
I had one other question for you, because this has always been bugging me for a while, since I know Siemens portfolio quite well. You mentioned about SimCenter. That's where you are modeling all of it. This is a heavy platform where, for constructing an executable digital twin, where if you are going to deploy it on an edge, how did you guys simplify that portfolio so that it can run in a pretty small footprint instead of a high performance compute? Because for you to run SimCenter to do virtual validation, you need a lot of compute power. How did you guys do that? That has always been a challenge 8 years back when I was in the company. So what really happened?
Yeah, for this we have a concept. So first we built the model, can be a high fidelity model for FEM or for CFD, and then we reduce this. So by leveraging the SimCenter ROM builder, a reduced order model, we make it more compact, more executable, so it can run on small platforms like the Edge system. And then you have a specific XDT for one use case with a few inputs, a few outputs, which is exact for this application you want.
Right. Yeah, I think in my opinion, that changed the game because that was never possible 10 years back, 8 years back. What you guys have done with model order reduction to reduce that footprint, now I can literally run a complex physics model in a Raspberry Pi or something like that, which has never been possible. One other question I had for you on the same concept. Let's assume that model is running at the plant, or it's running at a connected product where I'm doing a physical verification. I have a lot of sensors on it, physical sensors. But all the data cannot be measured. You guys have solved that problem also with the physics modeling. Can you talk about the different sensors you introduced for solving it? How did you do it?
So, yeah, right. So it relies always on the physical sensors or parameters of a machine. For example, you have the motor speed or some real-world information. And then these we connect to the XDT and make so-called virtual sensing values, which are new values, but the PLC does not differentiate. It's just another tag that can be used, and you can rely as it is a physical sensor. And with this sense, we can also do closed-loop application. We can optimize the process, so feeding back the virtual sensor values to the PLC, and the PLC can react on it. I can also give you an example. We have a glue dispensing application where we don't have a flow meter for glue because you cannot measure it with a physical sensor. But based on a system simulation, you can derive, based on motor speed, environmental factors, temperature, humidity, how much glue comes out at that very point of time. And then optimize it also if it's too less or too much. And last year at SPS Fair, we also showed a reference for this with customer RAMF. So they use it in their machines to optimize this process.
Right. So basically, you got a physical sensors which is measuring various values, and there are some things which cannot be measured. You are leveraging physics formulas to simulate a sensor which is virtually calculating something, and it's still collected as a time series data to be stored in Snowflake. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So one other question to you. There are, again, this seems to be like Siemens is taking a huge lead on the digital twin area. What are the different types of digital twins possible? And can you talk about various applications of it?
So generally we rely on FMU, which is an open standard functional mockup unit, and it's not a Siemens custom solution, it's really an open standard. And the variety of simulations is huge. So it starts with system simulation, but as said, we can also do the FEM modulation, temperature applications. It's also not specific for one industry, so you can use it for automotive as well as for aerospace, food and beverage. Also, we show at the Siemens booth a mixing application where we have a mixer and you can calculate with the simulation model when the mixing progress is finished. So it's really integrated already.
Got it. So you can use it for R&D organizations, you can use it for manufacturing use cases in a plant floor, you can use it for connected products, all three. Okay, yeah. Awesome. So can you talk about the customers and the real world use cases, what you guys are working on, what we are doing some things together as well?
Yeah, of course. So as said, the glue application is one. We also have one for tire curing. Tire curing, you need to bake in this tire and press it. And there we do condition monitoring in the sense that this bladder gets, the condition of the bladder is getting worse. And this we can detect early, so we avoid waste. So that's a good example how we can optimize the process. Yeah, maybe Pugal, you also can talk a bit about your customer projects and your engagements.
Sure, I think most of it is a joint customer. I have worked with your colleagues in Asia last few weeks, in fact. So the use cases we have been working on is mostly what Siemens calls it as performance twin. So one of it is for energy production facility in Indonesia. It's a geothermal facility. We modeled the complete turbine with physics and then also brought the data out of the connected turbine to predict the behavior and then provide operational insights to do better maintenance and also improve the overall efficiency of the steam turbine. So I think that's the work we did together. So bunch of other use cases we are working together is around grid optimization. In both in Indonesia, in Thailand, in Malaysia, we have given some joint proposals. So I think the other major area of interest where we are working together is around data centers. So data center again comes into two categories of use cases. One is during the construction of data center. So Siemens always had a very mature concepts of virtual commissioning of manufacturing facilities. Before you build a manufacturing facility, you simulate the behavior of the complete plant before you construct it in a digital twin. So we are trying to do that for cooling arrangement in a data center before you construct the data center. The other one is operation side of the data center again for various use cases. So another use case we are working on is around dynamic line rating for energy transmission using computational fluid dynamics and AI together. So these are all the huge area of interest now jointly with our joint customers is happening now. So.
Okay, great. I think this highlights again how the digital twin can be used in the planning phase and then taken to the operation, this very same digital twin and used as a XDT.
Right. And also in product development, we are working together again, what Siemens calls it as a product twin on leveraging the connected data coming in from the connected products, which can be cars, trucks, planes, contextualizing the data, making it available for R&D organization so that they can do a simulation of the product to understand the behavior of it before they try to take reuse decisions. Hugely interesting for high volume production industries like automotive. So where part reuse becomes an important metric. So I think that's pretty much a lot of the applications going on, a lot of multiple customers we are working together on that front around the world. So that's what is going on. So.